Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and in today's video, we are going to be giving you a first look at some of the new features, visuals, and introductions from the latest V1.0.26 War Reignited update. A number of things we're going to touch on today, along with I'll be sharing you some of my thoughts on a number of them as well. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up, because it helps out a lot. So number one is Season of Strife. So we know that Season of Strife is going to be coming out specifically for seasons, for kingdoms that are completed T1 and beyond. So T1 and B2, right? Because what they said is that you have to do 3 seasons. So if we count you're finishing Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, even though I think it's probably more like, and this is what we've been saying, is more like Season 2, B1, and T1. Unless maybe they're counting Season 1, and if they do, then you're finishing Season 1, Season 2, and Season B1, which would mean that any of the kingdoms that are here on the pre-war server, we're going to come back and talk about this as well, but what we figured out is that the pre-war server are for kingdoms that have finished their current season. So any of these kingdoms you see here have already finished SB1. Same thing here. Any kingdoms you see in Tamara's Season 1, or ST1 as we call it, have already completed the ST1 season. They're just waiting for the next. So it could very well be that, and any of the kingdoms here that have finished SB1, which technically would kind of be unofficially 3 seasons, will end up going into Season of Strife. However, I did log into a couple of those kingdoms already, and I've not seen any Season of Strife notifications or early registration systems. Again, unless maybe it's only available to the king first, and then it'll open up to all the players. But I just didn't see any visual aids. Number 2 is that migrating to the same season and same timelines is now a thing. Now, yes, there has been, from what I've gathered, a number of just intense things that have been happening since the update, with activity statuses being bugged on what you were seeing for visuals for kingdoms that you were trying to go to. And I'll give you an example here. I think I've been checking this, and it looks like it might be fixed by now, but basically people were showing screenshots of before migration started and then right after migration started, and it was showing all the kingdoms crowded, and I think there were like 2 KVK groups I saw that in. Now I think support ended up saying, well, you have to go here, click migration, and then it'll show you, but you can see here all crowded. There was 2 active and 1 full. That was exactly what I just showed off there. So maybe it hasn't hit this one. Maybe it's been fixed. Maybe it's just not for all of them. But hopefully that'll end up getting adjusted. Now, you are able to migrate now, as we showed off. However, you do still have to meet particular requirements, right? So it says, cannot migrate. Like this server has places remaining in its migration quota. It doesn't. Server must be in Season 1. And so you can see that. Or sorry, like I guess we must be at that point, right? So given that there's no pre-wars, and I'll probably be able to show this off once they get to the pre-war server or home kingdom from those that are exiting SB2, which will be the first 8 KVK groups, right? So we have SB2 1 through SB2 8. Those kingdoms are going to be going into home kingdom first. I believe they're slated right now for May 30th. We'll have to go and check that. Excuse me. But if we go here, yeah. So you can see here on, or excuse me, June 30th. Oh gosh, I'm dying. Agua. A couple drops, maybe that'll help. So June 30th is when they'll end up going in to home realm. Now, of course you can migrate now. However, once you end up, and again, that's just because of the end of season summary that you have, or end of season summary that we have now, and you still have the migration window. So it will be interesting to see what happens after this window finishes, and then will, for example, the window change after this? Will they end up updating the end of season? Because again, you can go in and look here, and you can migrate to these kingdoms right now. Maybe this will not end up being, right now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, maybe this will not be where you will go to migrate, even though we have seen some people try to click migrate on here. So, because I was thinking, okay, well, maybe this is just going to be an info bubble, and it's just going to be where it'll just give you kind of announcements, notifications. But even when we saw the video before, when they were doing the update with Dimitri and Leo, right, they had showed this off, and it looked like you could still migrate there. and I've already seen some screenshots of people showing that you can click on this. So I guess I'm curious on how those timelines are going to line up. Will the end of season phase out for the migration phase? Will it just be more of a notification phase, and then you'll just have to actually go here, right? I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see how that one plays out. The next one is that there's going to be a number of test kingdoms. Now, I have not found one yet, and maybe it hasn't come out yet. And given that I have not checked all of the kingdoms, I would argue that I think it's probably going to be a little bit earlier in the Season 1 group, because it's probably going to be a Season 1 kingdom is what I might guess. And that's just because they tested out the rally and garrison feature in a Season 1 kingdom before. So do I think that it's likely that they're probably going to be testing it out there? Yes. But again, I haven't gone through all of the current Season 1 kingdoms from 361 up to 404 or 405 to see if they have a notification yet on the auto features. I will be looking out for that. And once we find that out, or I get the information, we'll make sure we do a video and cover that. So those of you that maybe want to go and make accounts there to test these things out, we'll try and keep you apprised on that information. Number 4. Hero levels no longer reset, and they have been restored to historical high values. So you'll be able to see that here if we go in as we try to thankfully feeling slightly better. Oh, actually, yeah, that's not it. I actually have to click on heroes in order for it to be shown. So again, you can see here that a number of heroes that I was leveling have already now gone up. You can see some heroes that I hadn't touched at all this season are now up. You can see a number of heroes here have gone up. So you're now seeing where, again, for some of you are probably going to be waking up or getting online, and you're going to look at your heroes and say, wow, they are at a higher level than what I thought they were, than what they were when I started the season, because when I started the season, a number of them were at 0, and now a number of them are leveled up to whichever historical high they were able to reach before before the update. So with that in mind, that covers number 4. Number 5, there is the new March attack feature, and that should be in the settings, and I think we'll go here. It's probably going to be probably customization. Let's go here. So there should be a March option, and for March attack, if it is here, which hopefully it will be at $10. Maybe. Oh, here it is, right? So enable March attack mode. Enables March attack orders. Legions will attack all of the Lord's legions they encounter while marching to a destination. So if I click this, and let's just go out here, and let's just say I'm going to go here. You can see March attack, build, relocate, deploy. So if I do, like, let's say I want to go, I wonder if it'll do it as well if I like go for a Darkling. Here, I'm just curious. Let's test this out. So I click attack, but I don't see March attack. So maybe it's not if I'm doing that. So it probably has to be, so see, there you go. This will order your legion to attack any other lord's legions that they encounter while marching. This will activate War Frenzy, increasing Legion's attack by 3%, but for the next 15 minutes, you cannot activate your city's shield. Participating in this could lead to Legion losses. So this is interesting because I wonder if people can, I don't want to say abuse this, but I wonder if you can use this as a way, because if it's going to auto-proc your War Frenzy when you haven't attacked anyone, I would assume that this would, instead of it saying this, it would say, if you encounter another lord, it will then activate War Frenzy. Because if you're able to activate War Frenzy, I guess this is just another way to do it, really. But you could then, use that if you want to go and have increased attack for PvE, if you're going to go do Behemoths, etc. Again, you can do it on regular cities as well, but this just seems like this is an easier step, or maybe one less step that you would have to do in order to just proc it. But yeah, there you go. Next one I think we're going to look at is the Auto Battler. So keep in mind, Auto Battler, and yes, I need to actually probably redo my Dragon Trail because I have no idea what level I'm at. Well, there we go. Look, I'm at 10. I'm totally winning. Oh, never mind. I'm not at 10. I have to restart. But, again, you will see that once you get to level 5, once you complete level 5, you will then be able to start auto battling, right? I think they said that was reduced from around 21, give or take. And so now you make it to level 5, and then you get to auto battle, right, all the way up as high as you can, and just kind of watch that do its thing. So again, that's more of a quality of life if you want to consider it that. The next is going to be behemoth layers. So it was stated in the patch notes that behemoth layers are going to become weaker as the season progresses. Now, this is seasons in general. This is not season 1. And to really hammer that point home, we will do that. We'll go save. Let's go look for our instructions. So you'll see here. Oh, hang on. That's the migration one. I want this one. Here we go. So we end up having where improved battlefield, hero levels, tactics manual, selecting 10 draws, store on the hero, alliance progress. Oh, here we go. Hang on. Attack mode, improve combat experience. Where is, oh, hang on. $10 says it's probably here near the bottom. I just want to show this to you guys. Here we go. More accessible map. More enjoyable events. Where is it? Improved alliance system, adjust behemoth. Last 2 events on challenge. Behemoth. Great user experience. Oh, there's the comeback event too as well. I wonder if I can show that off. Where is it here? Man, I wish I bet you I passed it. $10 says. $10 says we did. Migration for alliance donations. Behemoths. Each last event behemoths. Challenge one or both. No, that's just for an event. Comeback. Summer soiree. Let me see when searching for Darklings. Nope. Oh, here it is. Dynamic difficulty. Added for behemoths. When a behemoth layer opens, the behemoth will become progressively weaker. Behemoth difficulty will be reduced as the season progresses. So again, just stating that it is not, it's basically for all seasons at that point. So I guess nice to know. Now, whether or not you agree or you disagree with that, my view on it is I, for one, just would have liked to seen them play it out another season. Like, let's see, because keep in mind, for vanilla behemoths, and I hope that only applies for maybe normals. I don't know if that's going to apply for elites. I'm somewhat iffy on that. But because they've improved the behemoth rating system, where before you had cap limits on how many players you could bring to each behemoth layer, and I believe that number had increased as difficulty went on, the cap, I should say. And now it's where you can have an unlimited amount of, well, not unlimited, but you can have up to 200, or everyone from your alliance, if they're able to show up, can go and participate for normal raids. Elite raids, I believe, still should have their cap, but I'm sure someone can correct me on that as well if need be. Next is going to be the Summer Soiree event. Now, there's nothing here about the Summer Soiree event at the moment, so if we move out of the Behemoth layer and we go to events, you'll see on the calendar, nothing yet. So again, maybe we'll just have to wait a little bit of time for that one. There's also no special icons that would be indicating as such, so that's something that I'm sure will come in due time. The next one is going to be the Personal Honor Point leaderboard, and some adjustments, which we'll talk about in a moment. But let's say I go to rankings. You can see here that they added personal glory point rankings. I'm a fan of this. I love, you guys know, man, I'm a big fan of data. Having more availability to you is always great. And so I think being able to show off personal glory point rankings is fantastic, especially internally within the alliance. So this is just another quality of life add. Then we also will talk about the layout. So the layout for alliances is a little different, right? You'll see that, at least here, the announcement board is bigger, which I actually like because it allows for more information to be viewed, to be disseminated, and to be downloaded from people that are from players in those alliances that are going and reading them, or if you go and you view other alliances. So I'm a fan of this, where they give you a little bit more real estate space so you can get more information across up front, and then, of course, through decrees, mails, etc. The next one here is going to be migration items in the Alliance shop. So if you go to the store, you will see, that they just had a little typo or an image display error, if you will, during that last update with Dimitri and Leo, where we saw that it was 500k Alliance credits, and now we're seeing, again, which lines up with what they said before, we saw the video, is that it's 400k. So again, nice to see that. Still wish that they didn't have a limitation on how many you could buy. So hopefully that'll be something that they may improve on at that point, because I just think it's just too much of a grind. Like, a lot of people probably have I don't want to say a lot, but I'm sure there's a number of people that have a high number of Alliance credits saved up. So, why not just allow them to buy them as many as they want in one go? The next one here is going to be the Personal Honor Point leaderboard, and some adjustments, which we'll talk about in a moment. But let's say I go to rankings. You can see here that they added personal glory point rankings. And so I think being able to show off personal glory point rankings is fantastic, especially internally within the alliance. So this is just another quality of life add. The next one here is going to be the Personal Honor Point leaderboard, and some adjustments, which we'll talk about in a moment. But let's say I go to rankings. You can see here that they added personal glory point rankings. And so I think being able to show off personal glory point rankings is fantastic, especially internally within the alliance. So this is just another quality of life add. The next one here is going to be the Personal Honor Point leaderboard, Then the last one we'll talk about here is going to be the server overview layout update. And this is just kind of more of a visual aid update, if you will. And we showed this off already a little bit before. But you can see here that there is some visual changes for font, maybe shading, maybe size looks about the same, but it does look a little bit different, at least for those of us that maybe pay attention to those things. And also they added a construction tab, right? So you have in seasons, right, you can see here that we have the season server, the pre-war, which we already knew, but now these visuals look different because it'll tell you which ones you're able to, and looks, and that's pretty cool. Look, if you click on this, migration permitted, you can migrate to the server. Application required, your application to the server must be accepted before you can migrate. Applying for immigration, you are applying to this server, and then cannot immigrate. So I like how they give you the different status updates. That's nice. I also like how they give you this, right? You can click on that. Normals has less than the average number of players. This server has an average number of players. Above average, this server has a high total influence. You cannot currently migrate to the server through standard migration, right? So I like how they give you more information. And then if you click on it, you're also able to see that as well, right? So it'll tell you crowded. It tells you when it, oh wow, opens in 157 days. Huh, interesting. What does that mean? What does it mean when it says opens in 157 days, even though it's already open? Aside from that, look at this. Right now you have construction phase. The realm is no more than 10 days old, is what they consider to be the construction phase. Season 1, the server realm was older than 10 days old. Season 2 hasn't started. Season 2 has started. Season 3 is not. Pre-strife. So look, they're actually giving you some information here on this. So now you get to see what that order looks like. And we were kind of guessing on that before we got to this point, because again, I hadn't looked at any of this before. You see now, you're going to go through Season 1, Season 2, then you get into Pre-Strife. Season 3 has started. Season of Strife registration has not started. Side season, current season has started. Next season has not started. And then you get to Season of Strife, which is Season of Strife registration has started, right? So you're going through Season 1, Season 2, and then we get the confirmation it's B1. And then after B1, you'll be able to go into Season of Strife. So those that are finishing B1, have already finished T1, or about to finish B2, Season of Strife will be for all of the kingdoms there, which is a lot. But it's nice to be able to see that on that realm information. And then on the cannot migrate, it kind of gives you the migration requirements. So you can see here that we're in a Season 2. And let me just give you an example here. So let's go to Season 1. Oh, hang on. Is there a pre-war? Cool. So let's go to Season 1. So this is what's interesting. Hang on. Let's go here. So this is what's interesting to me for some of you who may be paying attention or are already noticing this, is that if you recall, you were supposed to get 350 slots for normal. You were going to get 200 for active. And then it was probably estimated like 75, 100, give or take, for crowded, even though it basically is just kind of up to the full status. And that could be anything from 1 up to 199. At that point, or maybe 100, give or take. And that's just because if you're crowded, you could be 1 away from full, or you could be the max amount away from full. However, when we look at Season 1, you can see the season migration power limit is 3 mil, right? So you can only come in if you're 3 mil. And I just want to show you guys off something real quick. So then we'll go to Season 2, pre-warp. You can see here, season migration power limit is 3 mil. However, notice the spaces remaining is 300 for active. Crowded is 300, but you can see 20 people have already moved in there. And then if we go to Season 1 pre-war, the same thing is 300. So this is interesting to me because this does not align with what their slot amount of slots per activity status have always shown. Now, this could just be a visual bug. Maybe it is. And hopefully, if so, it'll get corrected. But that, I would just say, is a little discerning. If it is not a visual bug and ends up being, no, this is just what it is, because that just doesn't go in line with what we've always been told. The next is that if you end up looking, right, you can see the season migration, right, 3 mil. If I go to B1, you can see, and I click on one of these, you'll see the season migration power limit is 10 mil. So now you're kind of getting an idea, right? So it's 10 mil for B1, Season 1, 3 mil, Season 2, is 15, right? So you can see that here, right? So pre-war. Oh, I'm sorry. This actually could just be based on what they set it up as. Yeah, I think I'm getting that mixed up. Because now you're able to see what the kingdom or what the king or queen has set their migration limit at. So that's interesting. You got, this one's at unlimited, which is probably why they got, this is YY. It's our boys' kingdom from 314. And so, and then this one's at, so people are setting their caps right now. So interesting that they're setting this at 3 mil. But keep in mind, you can still have, once your kingdom is full, you can still have, right, the 25 mil and under come in. So at that point, it kind of doesn't really matter what your power limit is at, unless the power limit will supersede what that hard 25 mil and under cap will be for kingdoms that are full and have used up all their slots, because that was one of the things they talked about in the notes. With that in mind, that's pretty much it that we got for this one. Hopefully you all enjoyed. I would love to hear what you think. Again, one of the things I like about this, and I'm hoping that they keep this because I really love this, and I wish they gave you the activity status just throughout the entire time. Like, even if they didn't give you the migration icon, I wish that they would just keep the activity status there. And I say that only because otherwise you kind of have to time these things out. But it is nice that I can at least see what the pre-war status is, and hopefully the activity status for the kingdoms in the pre-war tab, because this will still help me kind of do my most active kingdoms in the game, and we can kind of update that from month to month to show you what those fluctuations and changes are, and those that are coming into full, going down from full, etc. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this one. Again, I'm only showing off a couple things here based on what at least I have access to, and I have some time to show off. And yeah, so let us know in the comments down below. That's going to do it for me. As always, until next time, we'll catch y'all later.